Okay, there's quite a few people having problem of installing Apple CarPlay, this dongle right here, to the Audi MMI 2G. The 3G is much better now. They come out with the unit that can plug and play. But for the 2G people, it's too old. So today I'm going to try to go through as clearly as possible. So all the Apple CarPlay they use on the Android, and this one you need an Android box. The Android box, what it's going to do is going to take the CarPlay dongle, display, and control through TV tuner. That's the only way for the MMI 2G to show up with this. And you must have a F-bus connector at the head unit, which 2004, 2005, and 2006 they don't have backup camera, therefore they don't have it. So for 2007 and up, or whatever, if you have the original backup camera, you will have the FACRA F-bus on the head unit, Audi A8 in the back of the glove box. So without the video in, you have no way of showing the CarPlay, okay? F-bus. Some people can use $150 Muxer video interface, but you know, it costs more money and it's the same thing. So it's better if you don't have the F-bus on the 2004, 2006, either retrofit it or buy a head unit with the A, which has the F-bus, and swap the I2C so that you don't have component protection. Either way, you need to work on what you need on the TV tuner. So now the TV tuner have 20 pins here again, and they have AV1 and AV2. So if the cable is not made correctly with the correct round, the ground and the video signal, you won't have the correct or clear picture. Look at the pin out. AV1 should go with the ground 1 group. AV2 should go with the ground group for 2. Don't mix them up. So if you buy the cable from somebody, make sure they have that, or you're going to have a cross signal which will become blurry. So this one here, this cable actually is very important, the 20 pin. So AV means audio video. So you have video and audio. Audio is 2 channel, video is 1 channel. So make sure that when they made the cable, they group them together correctly. The ground, group 1 or group 2, the ground can use for either video or audio. It doesn't matter. Okay. So let's this cable out of the way. So now let's talk about the cable for TV box. So a lot of people, they buy expensive TV box or whatever the design, they don't have the AV out, which I do not recommend. Always use the one that is proven working. So I bought 3 of these, 2 of them, one is in my A8 and one is in my Q7. It's working already. So why people keep buying something else and ask me how come it doesn't work? All right. If you want to reinvent the wheel, you should know what you're doing, okay? I don't have time or money to test all of the stuff. So this one have AV out. That's important. Now, if you go out and you buy a 4-ring with 3 output composite, all right? Make sure that it works, because the ground on some of them is not the same on your AV. So each of the design is different. So make sure you get a cable that works. And before we put in the car, we need to test and make sure that the output of the AV is working. Okay? So if it's displayed correctly on the TV, then you know your signal is good and the cable is good and this box is good. If you don't have the AV, you have to buy this called HDMI to AV, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Okay? So do whatever you want, but some of them I saw it working very well. But the problem is that whatever the cable you want, you have to change this audio composite to the auxiliary connector. Why? It's because you need a ground loop noise. So you need a ground loop noise in between the audio so that you don't have the static sound when you drive. It's horrible. So either way, whatever the cable you use, the video can be composite, but the audio have to be auxiliary, 3.5 millimeter. So you have to cut these and make it into one of these. Alright, they have left and right. One for right, one for left, and one for ground. If you cut it in half, you will see 3 wires. Okay, so this is for the output, AV output, audio, video. So when this one is working, you're going to connect to the 20-pin AV1 or AV2, whatever you choose. But always test it first and make sure that it works. So now let's talk about Dongle Carplay. It said right here you need 5 volts, 1 amp, which means that this USB on your TV box can supply 1 amp to drive this guy and charge the phone. But some of the new phone now, they need the whole 1 amp for them to charge. So what you do, you need to get yourself a hub. So I recommend a hub that is 2.0 and not 3.0, okay? A lot of them now, they sell the 3.0 more expensive, but it takes more power. So what do? Like this one here. You plug it in and you put 5 volts USB power extra into this hub. So when you put power into this hub, then you have more current running here. Therefore, when you plug this one in, you can drive it. So make sure it's good. So this box right here only have 2 USB ports. So what I use is that this box, I know that it works strong enough to have 1 amp for this. So I connect this one directly into here. Now, in order for this guy to have 1 amp or 2 amps running out of these 2 ports, your input power, which is a DC here, have to be able to have at least 3 amps, and your car USB 12 volt to 5 volt DC, maximum I see is they have 2 amps. Unless you buy a 3 amp 12 volts 5 volts module separately. Okay, very simple. In order for this one to provide the USB port coming out, but it also depends on the box. Some boxes don't design well. The USB to have 1 amp to drive the CarPlay dongle, you have to have more than 2 or 3 amps original power coming in. Because why? Because when you plug in the second hub, USB hub, for what? For your movie? For your microphones? You do need a USB microphone. So you can text by voice. You cannot use the Siri to text using the original microphone from the phone, because the CarPlay takes over. But everything else you can use with the phone using Siri by voice, except the iMessage. Now let's get the power out of the way. Well, actually, everybody who wants to do this, you need to have a USB cable with the connection to plug into this one. So I'm going to test it right now. Okay, so I use a USB 2 amps coming in here, and it does boot up. Okay, so if you're going to use the cigarette lighter to turn on your box and the CarPlay, I recommend to get the one with the tablet and phone. So these are supposed to be 2 amp each. So one of them is for your box and the other one is for hub. Okay, so let's do the hub. You need this type of cable. I think it's called 2 female or 2 male, whatever. I'm gonna plug into the hub. So now I use this, and I use the cable power 2 amp from there to this one here also. Okay, so let's see if I use, so what we need a hub for is that we need to have one for the USB microphone and one for the USB touchscreen. So for testing purposes, I use the 2 amp AC to 5 volts DC to power up this hub, right? And then I would take a cable to go from here to the hub on there. Okay, so I plug it to the hub, and the other side go into the TV box. First, let's test this one with this cable on the TV. When it's working, make sure it's working before we plug it into the TV tuner. Okay, so let's talk about audio. There's 2 ways to do this. You can use the audio from the cable, AV out, or you can use the easy way is by the USB audio dongle, which has microphone and headphone. So this one, the microphone, you buy the analog microphone like this for $1, and this one right here, I think they sell for $3 or something. Then you don't have to make the cable, the AV cable. All you need is the AV. You don't really need the audio from analog, from this one. So you're going to use the audio from USB, which is digital. It will come out very nice. Okay. Now, With this one right here, all you need to do is to put the audio auxiliary through ground loop noise and into the audio 1 or audio 2 on your TV tuner. Then you don't have to make a lot of customization. So all you need is the audio, the video out 1, and connect to this AV cable here, the video, the 2 audio cable from that not used. Use this. And then you don't have to use the USB microphone like I do. Okay, so the audio is working right now, and you can see it's blinking. So now we're going to test the microphone. So without a microphone, you cannot text, but you can do everything else with Siri. Text Brandon Lee.
What do you want to say?
Testing, Brandon.
Your message to Brandon Lee says casting Brandon. Ready to send it?
Yes.
Okay, it's sent.
So the microphone works. So this one right here is actually pretty good. The only problem is sometimes when it lost connection with the USB, you have to restart. So Brandon Lee's answer right now. So we need to check.
Brandon Lee said, Want to reply?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
I'm testing my CarPlay. Okay, so we plug it in on the AV, which is the composite in the back here. We can see it's too dark right now. And you can see if you have the color, that means you set it correctly to your TV. So this TV, the NTSC. So NTSC is 480. And if you're in Europe or whatever, it will be 576. But anyhow, on the TV tuner, I use 576. But TV tuner, I can set the input to be 576 so it is clearer. So right now, if you look at this, I know that my video cable is good. All right? Because the color come up, everything came up, right? So how do we set this? We need to put a mouse. What does the mouse go to setting? So you go to display, resolution adjustment right here. It says 480. You see that? Now, when I go into, before I'm going to put into my TV tuner, if I change to 576, I can switch to this one. So you see that? When you change the resolution, then the color become gray because it's NTSC. Okay? So I don't want that. Only when I switch to, when I go to my TV tuner, when I change my TV tuner input to 576, then I can set this one. All right. Now if you look in here, you see that it doesn't display well on the TV. So what we need to do to setting. So now you're going to adjust the setting. If you go to the display, you zoom out. You see it getting smaller, smaller. So normally 88 is what I have on mine, okay? To fit the screen on the MMI 2G 7-inch. So just slide it. So now it should be good. See? So now you can see these coming in correctly. So in order for Android box to see the CarPlay, you need to install the app called the Z-Box. Okay, so you can go to the zbox.com or whatever and download the latest one. So now I have the Z-Box. Now if I click it, they would say the Z box not found. So I'm going to plug in my Z box. So I plug in my Z box already, and it's still Z box not found. So is my Z box broken? No, it takes a while for it to hook up. So now when you see the Z box is gone, now the phone not found. So I need to plug in my phone, and it said phone not found. My cable. So make sure the cable is a good cable. So when it's connected, you can see the charge on it, right? So you see right now it's very clear. So that means that my box and my cable is good. But when you plug into the car and it's blurry and it's not clear, it's the connection of the AV cable that you made that is bad. So to me, if we're going to do it right. So a complete CarPlay Auto Android, you need a touchscreen, the TV box, the TV tuner, microphone, CarPlay dongle, the USB for the movies and music, the hub for all the USB, and a good power supply coming in. Okay, so this is a touch screen. It comes with a board and a touch screen with the cable and the USB interface. This is a capacitive one, so I bought one. Actually, I bought a whole bunch of these. Tap so that you can tap into the small icon, so it's easy. Okay, to plug it in, the black side to the top, and plug it in, and then snap. When you push it all the way in, and then you just snap this to lock it in place. So let's see if it works. Normally before they come already installed, but this time they didn't. So plug in the cable in here, and now we can test it. Okay. Ooh, I hit something. My God, I don't know where. So if you look on the bottom here, you can estimate where it is. So I'm going to hit right in the middle here to go back. There you go. So you want to hit the Z is about right here. Nope, that's not the Z. Go back. The Z is right about here. Yep, there's the Z. How come the phone is not found? Alright, phone's connecting. So actually I want to hit the bottom right in the middle here, and to go back. Right? That is the dot. Okay? So let's see if I can play some movies. So it's right here, the movie. Yep. And I got to go up here a little bit. But when you put this one onto the screen, it'll be so good, right? Just click any of them. It should be good. There you go. So this touch screen is amazing. So it works right away. So test it out, everything, before you put it in. So home, I use Google Now Launcher. That one is good. So for the CarPlay to work, for the touch screen, normally most of them will have the driver in it. If not, you have to install the drivers. Go to the website, or I have one of those that have the so this touch screen right here, yeah, $17. This is a CarPlay for you. Control by a knob instead of touch screen. Make sure you have these so you can get back. This is the home right here. In order for the touch screen and the knob USB to work, you need to turn on the USB debugging in the developer on.